team, and we're going to take over the world. Welcome back. This is the 101st YouTube, and my return after a break of about a month or so. I've accomplished a couple of things in this month. The first is that I've let the YouTube statistics level out. And the reason I did that was I wanted to see what the real interest in the newer posts versus the older posts were. And I needed some time for them all to kind of age a little bit, and we could see where the hits were really headed. What are the interests? What are people asking for? What are they thinking about? What's resonating with their concerns? One of the things that really jumped out at me from looking at the statistics as they did settle down and organize themselves over the last month was there's a lot of interest in meta programs, what we would think of as more the master practitioner level concerns. I love those sounds. I love the sounds that the motorcycle guys come up with, how they custom tune their exhaust to resemble animalistic tones. Either that or severe case of gas. Where was I? Meta programs and master practitioner level. So what I'm gathering is that there is a lot of need and a lot of curiosity about what lies right over the horizon after the practitioner level training. And of course, a great deal of what I've been talking about with logical levels and chunking up and chunking down of chunk sizes, granularity, frame sizes, scope, category, many of those things we'll be going into in greater detail do sort of fit into that master practitioner level training and the concerns of meta programs. So I think that that's probably a lot of what I ought to be working toward, and working sort of a master prac type of parallel training material here, assuming a certain practitioner level skill, but certainly we could talk about the refining the practitioner level skills too. The second thing I want to notify you is that we now have a blog. The blog is toadblog.com. Toadblog.com is in its advanced beta incarnation, and that took a while because I really had no knowledge whatsoever of how to produce a blog, what was involved, how blogware worked, how WordPress worked, how the internet host, the domain registrar. So I had to familiarize myself with this entirely new world to me and get a pretty good grip on how it worked. And then try to make some very selective choices about, okay, I needed to find a host that I could optimize my ability to be downloaded or be viewed in the United States and in Europe. So that required finding the right host. The host I like, I really recommend these people, is InMotion Hosting. These guys are great. They're right there with clear-headed people if you have technical problems. And of course, whenever you're starting up a blog, you're going to have a lot of technical problems. There are many, many layers of difficulty. So I went with InMotion Hosting, and I had InMotion Hosting host me on their East Coast server farm, so that allows me to be more easily clicked upon and received and projected out into the European area. And so hopefully we've balanced American and European needs as far as bandwidth and speed. And that's some of my time had to really go into figuring that out. Which of the many choice of hosts really were going to be the best deal? I would say InMotion Hosting for my needs. So that's toadblog.com. It is coming along. It is another hub. It's a place where I can put stuff that's hard to express verbally but might be very effective visually, or I can philosophize or discuss various modalities, and so there will be separate pages. There are separate pages for every sensory modality. Olfactory, gustatory has a page, visual has a page, auditory has a page. And these are all in the beginning stages. So what you see there is just kind of warming up the beta stuff. Go to toadblog.com. add your thoughts. It's there as a resource. It's there as a place where I can opinionate. I have noticed that most blogs, most NLP blogs, are simply the same thing being said over and over again, redundantly, repetitively, more than twice. And you're just getting slight variations on some basic theme, with the subtext generally being that they want you to connect to either some kind of marketing scheme or some kind of seminar or something like that. The great advantage we have with ToadBlog is that ToadBlog has got nothing to sell. ToadBlog will never have anything to sell, okay? There is no subtext of trying to hustle you into either attending something or buying something. This is completely commercial, free, and completely liberated. And that's why I refer to this as the NLP Liberation Front. It is liberated from the corporatism, and it's liberated from the theoretical constipation, and it's liberated from the self-serving bullshit that informs so much of this so-called NLP practice. Because this is really NLP as it started out, as a purely theoretical operation, purely philosophical operation. So go to ToadBlog, check in, join up, become part of the Toad team, and we're going to take over the world.